Welcome to the Raven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space News, where we give you all the Baltimore Ravens news 3 days a week. I am back. Guys, I'm super excited. Please let me know if there's any quality issues on this video because I have switched over to a new software to help me out. So please let me know if there's anything that is off or anything like that. I want to say thank you. I want to say I appreciate you guys with the wait. And I also want to say we have some good topics that we're going to hop right into on today's show. Let's go into the topics now. First, we're going to talk about free agency and the grade that ESPN gave the Ravens. We're going to talk about us adding more receivers. And then we're going to talk about a young player that's probably not going to get drafted, named Deniko Carter, and his workout coming up with the Ravens. And then my favorite segment, the mailbag and the comment of the day. It's how you guys get involved. So please, please, please drop your mailbag questions and your comments in the comment section below. Now we get to the first topic of the day. And ESPN gives the Ravens a grade of B- for their free agency activity. And I want to know how you guys feel about the moves as well. But personally, I thought this grade was a little high, honestly, because I don't think the Ravens got significantly better than what they were last year. Again, we lost Ryan Jensen. We lost Austin Howard. Those are two spots that we need filled. And if you're going to tell me James Hurst is going to go play right tackle, I'm going to tell you to get out of here. I am. He just was not good last year, and we're not going to sit here and pretend that he was a good tackle last year. But that's what it's looking like. We got rid of Macklin and we got rid of Wallace, and we replaced them with John Brown and Crabtree. Crabtree's a good number 2. John Brown's a okay number 2. So again, those are issues that we're going to have to address as a team later down the road, because I don't think John Brown's a long-term solution, and we know Crabtree is not a long-term solution. So again, a B- is a little bit too high for me. I will go C+. Again, did we get better? I don't really think so. Again, our players got another year older. Also, we know that Joe Flacco can't do it by himself, and Michael Crabtree is not a receiver that can carry a team. Neither is John Brown. So I was not super excited or pleased with the signings. Now, Crabtree, they made the best out of a bad situation. They were going to overpay Ryan Grant. They found a way not to. And they got a player who is going to be a good value, but doesn't really propel your team into the playoffs. Again, if you kept everything the same as it was last year and you replaced Mike Wallace with Crabtree, I don't know if you make the playoffs. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I think the team is that good right now because of Michael Crabtree to make the playoffs. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I really do look forward to that. And what is your grade for free agency for the Ravens? Now we're going to go to the second topic. And the Ravens are looking to add receivers and have worked out with Cameron Meredith, Willie Snead, and Michael Floyd. So those are some interesting players. The first thing I'm going to say is take Michael Floyd off your list. He's a headache, and his talent right now is not worth it. He has some issues. He got cut from Arizona. He got cut from the Patriots. Don't even put him in the game. I think he's a knucklehead, and right now we need to build for the future and build a team that can win, and he doesn't have the talent or the potential to help you in either way. Now, Snead and Meredith are some interesting choices. I honestly think so, because I think Willie Snead for the right price can be a great third receiver and a good slot receiver. I think Meredith, with his size, and I've seen some of his potential, can become a good player. None of these players are going to be over a second receiver. I don't even think they have the potential to be that. There's some players who are second receivers now, but have the potential to be number 1 receivers, right? These two don't have that. However, they can play football. They're going to be reliable. They're going to be smart. For the right price, I might give them a role. Now, again, you can't pay them like number ones because you're already paying a receiver like a number one. Pay him like a number two, like a number three. Get him in the building, and let's see what happens. The Ravens do have some young receivers that they also want to get work in with, but the more talent, the better. If the Ravens are honestly trying to make the playoffs, they have to have more talent. Now we're going to go to the third topic of the day, and it's talking about the workout with Deniko Carter from West Georgia. He's a receiver, and he's a native of Baltimore. So currently, the Ravens are actually scheduled to meet with this young man on Tuesday, I believe. They're going to meet with him. They're going to work out with him and see what he has. He will not be a high draft pick. He may not be drafted. However, we have known the Ravens, especially in recent years, to be able to get some undrafted rookies in at the receiver position and really excel. And we would have actually seen that impact if it wasn't for some injuries. So I wouldn't say I'm excited. He did go again to Maryland. He was in Maryland, sorry. He was born in Baltimore. So I'll take that. I'm a Baltimore guy through and through. So I'll take as many as I can get on the team. However, don't be surprised if the Ravens, don't even, call him after this workout because other teams may want him. And if they think other teams will go get him, they might not even waste their time. So I'm excited to see what he can do, and hopefully we'll hear his name somewhere down the line in Baltimore Raven training camp. Again, he's from Baltimore, so he might want to be a Raven versus somebody else or play for another team. So now we're going to go to the mailbag segment of the day. And this is my favorite segment. It's brought to you by the Raven Space Patreon and our patrons. Thank you guys so much for all the work that you do, all the help that you provide. We really do appreciate it. And this question comes from Rohit Patel. And he asks, how do you feel about Crabtree and having John Brown as a slot guy, also drafting wide receiver with a high pick? So I will say this, Mr. Patel, that if the Ravens can draft a receiver high, if we can get one of the top receivers, I think this changes a lot. I still don't think Michael Crabtree puts you over the hump. I really don't. However, I think Michael Crabtree, you get John Brown, and then the receiver from Alabama, whose name is escaping me right now, you put him in there, and I think that makes a big difference. I really do. That would change the way I feel about this. Again, he's a rookie. Are you going to depend on the rookie to take you over the hump and get into the playoffs? Maybe not. Maybe you're expecting Joe Flacco to be better. I'm not. I don't think Joe Flacco can be as good as he once was, especially that playoff run. I think that's just a gone thing. I mean, I would bet money, a good amount of money on it. But I will say that if we get another young receiver in there, and for the love of God, get an offensive lineman in there, then we may have a better chance to make the playoffs. But right now, we're the second best team in our own division. And again, we saw last year, being the second best team in your division doesn't mean anything if you're not one of those playoff teams at the end of the year. Now we're going to go to the comment of the day. And the comment comes from Marquise. And he says, John Brown is a 1,000-yard receiver when healthy. Okay, so let's start here. I'll give you some facts because I want you to understand. John Brown has played, I believe, 4-5 seasons in the NFL. One of those seasons, he was a 1,000-yard receiver. I believe 1,006 yards to be exact. I did research this stuff. So 1,006 yards to be exact. And you might think that's good. However, oh no, and it is good. Congratulations to John Brown. Being a part of the 1K club is a nice thing. But let's look at everything around it. It happened in 2015. What else happened in 2015? Carson Palmer was second place in MVP voting. So that's the first thing, okay? The defense was one of the best, if not the best defense in the league. In 2015, the Cardinals defense, when they had Pat Peterson and Matthew playing at high levels, Calais Campbell was on there. So again, they got more possessions than other teams. So those are the first two. Also, let's look in perspective that he had less yards than Larry Fitzgerald. So it says when your number 2 receiver gets 1,000 yards and your number 3 receiver, who was Michael Floyd, had 900 yards. So your number 1 receiver Larry Fitzgerald had 1,300 yards. Your number 2 receiver, John Brown, had 1,006 yards. Your number 3 receiver, Michael Floyd, had 900 yards. Sorry, John Brown fans. That's a receiver having a great year, but it's also a quarterback having an awesome year where he almost got 3 receivers and with 1,000 yards. And honestly, John Brown, if he was being double teamed like Larry Fitzgerald was, he wouldn't have 1,000 yards. Simple as that. I don't think he's the number 1 receiver coming off the bus. I don't think he's a 1,000-yard receiver coming off the bus. However, if you have a number 1 receiver and who can, take the double teams, and you have a quarterback playing at an MVP level, and you have one of the best offensive coordinators in the game in Bruce Arians, if you have all those things, then yes, John Brown can be a 1,000-yard receiver. Oh, and he has to be healthy. So I hope you guys can see why I don't like that signing as much, because you said when he's healthy, he's a 1,000-yard receiver. That's not true. When he's healthy, he's a 1,000-yard receiver if Larry Fitzgerald is commanding double teams and still getting more yards than you. If Carson Palmer is playing at an MVP level and is actually second to MVP voting in the same year Cam Newton won. So imagine how good Cam Newton was that year. Carson Palmer was a little bit below him. And you have one of the best offensive coordinators in the game in Bruce Arians. So, and he was the head coach, but he was the play caller as well. That's why I'm calling him a coordinator. But he was the head coach, but the play caller. So, offensive mind, great receiver above you, so you only get one-on-ones. Great defense to get you the ball back quickly, and then a quarterback at an MVP level. The Ravens have one of those things. They have a good defense to get you the ball back quickly. They do not have a A+ play caller. They do not have a MVP quarterback, and they don't have a number 1 receiver that commands double teams. So I don't think John Brown will get 1,000 yards while he's a Raven, but we can dream. So, and that is the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for returning and watching. The show will be going live soon, so please, thank you guys so much. Please subscribe to Ravens Space on YouTube for the best Baltimore content on the internet. Also, I know I've been talking about the Ravens Space website and the Ravens Space podcast. I'm going to say it like this. Okay, for the podcast, for all you guys who watch at the end, I do have a person in mind. He has his own YouTube channel. I'll let you guys speculate. His own Ravens YouTube channel. I'm going to ask him today to see what's good. If you know who I'm talking about, go on his YouTube and tell him check his Twitter or his Instagram, because I'm gonna DM him. So thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.